All right, man. So, dude, we've been talking about doing this for a long time as far as just being able to sit down. I mean, I'm getting into like the podcast space, and I thought you'd be the best first guest. I don't even know what this is called. Like, we're going to chop it up, and maybe by episode like 3 or 4, we're going to have a name. But first of all, man, just welcome for being here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even feel like this is my show. I feel like this is our show. I'm going to have guests on here all the time. But you being my first guest, man, I mean, just because we've talked about this for so long. So I guess, man, like, you know, everybody that's watching back home, this is Reggie Moore, a friend of mine, was somebody that I watched, you know, kind of growing up in the basketball scene from like Beach to Washington State to just kind of seeing his brand kind of flourish so throughout the years. So I guess the first question that I have, man, and we'll just kind of jump into it because I don't want to get too deep into your background by myself. I want you to be able to, you know, explain that. What is SkyBlue?
Bro, that's a question I get all the time, and it's a broad one. You know what I'm saying? I guess the way to put it, what you mean, like how it started, or just like
just
what
I mean,
it is
like
to
the thing
me,
about it, and I'll kind of tell you like how I first heard about it. I've been tweeting now for like probably like 10, 12 years.
You said you've been tweeting?
Tweeting, okay.
Right,
so, and I remember when you were in college, you were playing with Clay, and I remember Devontae Lacey was after you by how many years?
Just one. Or
just
two,
one,
maybe.
okay,
Maybe
two.
Was he a junior?
And I remember just randomly you guys would just tweet SkyBlue.
SkyBlue, for sure. Okay, well, that's a good point.
So I'm like, okay, what is SkyBlue?
Okay, bet. Okay, see, it did start in college, right? The whole Washington State thing because, let's see, I was going back there leaving my freshman year, going into my sophomore year. And we would do these like, you know, like during the summer we had those basketball camps or whatever where we're like coaching the kids and this, that, and the other, right? So during that, okay, it's gonna make sense when I round it off. Before I got there, right? Going into your sophomore year, you could like, you go from the dorm to the apartments. But me, I was being lazy and I didn't really get an apartment. We're coming back to summer school for maybe like 8 weeks or something like that, 8 to 10 weeks or something. So I was like, I'm about to sleep in the, can I cuss?
You can do whatever you want, we can bleep it out.
I was like,
man.
I'm about to sleep in the locker room. We got fat couches, we got fat TVs, whatever. I can go to the
to
gym,
this day.
whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got all the stuff down there, this, that, and the other. So I'm sleeping in there one night, and one of the coaches comes in, and he's like, Reg, what you doing here? I'm like, shit. He's like, bro, we kind of you sleeping. You're like one of the best players on the team, bro. We need to put you up in the spot, this, that, and the other. I'm like, all right, cool. So he calls D'Angelo Casto.
Yep.
D'Angelo Casto is
Ferris High School.
That's my dog, best teammate I ever had by far 100%. We'll probably get into that. But he calls Casto, and Casto's like, yeah, Reg, come stay with me. I'm like, all right, bet. But when I get to the spot, right, I'm looking, you know me, I'm an observer. There's nothing in there that looks like Casto's. There's like pictures like have like white little girls and like look like sorority girls. So I'm just thinking in my head, I'm just looking around like, this ain't Casto's spot. Feel me? So I can't lie. Like one time, I'm telling one of the managers on the team, well, his name's Casey Tucker. He's ended up being one of my best friends ever. And I'm telling him about it. He's like, bro, you can come stay with me. So pack up all my stuff in a garbage bag from Casto's spot, and I go stay with Casey. And Casey's the one who introduced me to like the Greek life and all this stuff. He was in the frat too, but he was a cool ass manager. Like I was always cool with the managers because they gave us socks, they gave us the drinks, whatever.
They did everything.
It was hella cool, you know what I'm saying? So one day after one of those camps, it's me, Marcus Cavers, and Casey Tucker just standing in the like a little triangle just chopping it up. And I'm like, Casey, what's up, bro? We about to, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna hit the bar, like we're gonna party tonight. What's up, bro? What we doing? He's like, is the sky blue? And I'm like, what? I didn't understand that thing at first. I'm like, huh? He like, is the sky blue? I'm still not getting it. And Capers is like, bro, like, is the sky blue?
You're like, yes, it's blue.
I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's when it clicked. So ever since then, like we would just say, like you say, it's sky blue. If we wanted to kick it, if we just, it was just like a feeling, you know, of us kind of kicking it. So shit, yeah.
So that's kind of where SkyBlue like started.
That's definitely the, like when they said that, that was when it started for sure. We just SkyBlue, SkyBlue, SkyBlue. You know what I'm saying? Even Coach Bone would say it sometime. And
it was just a tournament then?
For sure.
Okay.
It was just a tournament, just something to kick it with.
But then that term, though, happened to come in every aspect, from practice to off the court to at school. It was just like, we were talking about this like maybe 2-3 months ago. It's just one of those things where you can make eye contact with one of your good friends, and you know what each other's talking about before you even say anything, because you both saw what happened before, right?
No,
so I could look at you and just be like, SkyBlue, and you'd be like, 100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it can mean anything. It can mean, did you see that girl? It can mean, did you see that dude in the crowd? It can mean, man, you smell that food.
Sure.
Whatever it is, it'd be like SkyBlue, and be like, it's pretty much on. When you say SkyBlue, it's on.
SkyBlue, it's on.
It's time to happen. You know what I mean? So SkyBlue then, for the most part, okay, it started, that was kind of the early like stage of it, as far as like that's when it kind of came about.
2009, I want to say.
So we're going to kind of go through the Washington State phase, okay? And I did some research. I mean, obviously I watched your career at that point. You started 95 games from your freshman, your sophomore, and your junior year.
Damn.
Okay, your junior year, you were #1 in the Pac-12, or actually Pac-10 at that time. Pac-10 in assists.
And that's not with Clay on my team.
That's not with Clay, right.
People always think, they be like, yeah, of course you got it.
So Clay came the last year.
No, he was gone that year.
Oh, Clay was gone that year.
He went to the league.
Okay, so you started 95 games though from your freshman, sophomore, junior year. As I was looking at what you did in your career, I couldn't find a senior year. Mm-hmm. And so obviously I know what I read though back home, you know, as far as like the headlines, as far as Reggie Moore being dismissed from the team and all this stuff. And I know that we've talked about stories and stuff like that. So we can get into that. We don't have to get into it, you know what I mean? But it's just like,
for sure.
Let me ask you this, because you were dismissed from the team for smoking weed.
Yeah, for
okay.
Sure.
And that was back in when? 2000 what?
2012.
2012, that was 10 years ago.
Damn.
Weed was frowned down upon.
For sure.
Okay, that was one of those things
but that's why the reason we had to say like SkyBlue is secretly. You feel what I'm saying?
That
like,
more or less means you want to go get high.
Or, I mean,
SkyBlue.
not necessarily like get high, but you know what I'm saying? It's like one of the pieces to it.
And I pieced that together when I was reading those tweets. These guys are over in Pullman right now, SkyBlue.
For sure.
Okay, so you get dismissed in the preseason of your senior year? Or when did that happen?
It was probably like October, I want to say. Definitely before any games, because I remember I missed team pictures and stuff like that.
Okay,
so
was that your first offense smoking weed?
Hell no.
Second offense?
No, it was my third one. Because once
Third
you get
offense,
three,
okay, 3 strikes and you're out.
Because listen, I had to take 8 tests, right? Because,
hold on, 8 tests between your first and your third?
No, between my first and my third.
Okay.
So I'll tell you how they went. So let's see, how did it all start? I got arrested my freshman year. No, it was my sophomore year. You know, SkyBlue is popping.
And you got arrested for smoking weed?
Well, we went out to kick it one night, and I had some weed in my room. Like, I smoked hella weed before we left, this, that, and the other. Like, that was just what we were about to do.
Right,
you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so we had, like, there was a
that.
homies party that night, and that was when I was still staying in the dorms. So when I get back from my dorms, probably 2, 3 a.m., like, my room's completely, like, it looked like somebody robbed me or something, right? So I'm like, oh, my God, like, drawers are all open, clothes are all on the floor, this stuff. I'm like, damn. But I'm coming in, and I'm kind of like a little bit tipsy, you know what I'm saying? My boy that was with me at the time, he's the one who sees the paper. Mm-hmm. He's like, damn, Reg, this is kind of like a warrant or whatever. Like, I don't know if it's a warrant, whatever term he called it, or this, that, and the other. But he's like, bro, this from the police. I'm like, fuck.
This is at your dorm room?
This is my dorm room.
Oh, wow, okay.
Because back then, you're hella dumb as a kid. Like, we're smoking in the room, but we're doing the whole towel under the door thing, which doesn't work.
Absolutely, right.
That doesn't work, none of that, but we're kids, we don't know that.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, fuck it. I was like, man, I'll just deal with that in the morning, whatever. Get up in the morning, I call the cop or whatever. He comes back to the room. And he said, one mistake I made was admitting to it, right? I was like, yeah, that was because he found a weed baggie in my room. I was like, yeah, my birthday was 2 weeks ago. I smoked it then. I mean, I lied, of course, whatever. But I was like, yeah, I smoked it then, this, that, and the other. I think I got arrested December 14th. My birthday is November 28th, so it kind of like matched up perfectly.
Right, yep. So
then, like, it gets, like, Coach Bone gets a hold of it, this, that. I'm like, I tell everybody else, I'm like, bro, I don't know, bro. Like, fuck it. Like, it's like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So they wait for a while to see if they're actually going to go through with the charges. It's literally, they wrote on the police report, baggie of weed traces. You feel what I'm saying?
So there was really no weed in there,
it's
but there was
like,
crumbs in the
like,
bag.
are they really gonna follow through with it or not?
Did they?
Yeah, they fell through it. That's why it's all on the paper and this, that, and the other. So long story short.
On your first offense, you had crumbs in the bag and you got.
Facts. But this is like you said, this is when weed is like still bad.
Man, this is
like Wiz Khalifa's top of the charts right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like weed. You feel me?
So that was the first offense.
So but that's how you get in the system
Absolutely.
as far as getting like
Absolutely.
tested.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So they test me right then. Of course, I fail. This, that, and the other.
So when you failed though back then, is it like a suspension for a week? Is it a month? I mean, like what happens the first time?
The first time, I don't remember, bro, what happened. But I had to get suspended for a game anyways because of the just because of the whole arrest thing.
So you missed a game?
I missed a game down in Stanford.
Okay.
Yeah, missed a game. So I don't remember. I remember my second time I failed. I failed one right after. Bro, it was really...
Like within like the month?
Nah, it was... No, because they don't test you like that. It'd be like... This one was like the following whole, like, you know what I'm saying? It was like deep into the season because we went to this retreat.
You got stories.
We went to this retreat, but it was on Halloween weekend. I remember Clay was hella pissed. He like, man, why coach gonna take us away for Halloween weekend? Like, bro, it's the one weekend and one of the weekends in Pullman. Like,
absolutely, and
Mom's
basketball really
weekend.
hasn't went down yet. It's kind of going.
It's still early, like, you know?
Right.
So we go to this, I think Idaho Falls or somewhere hella deep in the middle of the woods. And we ended up just smoking, like getting hella key, like outside, smoking. And then like, but we ended up chopping them. This is one of the things that like, even Clay would say, like if he look back on it and like he talks about it now, he'd be like, bro, this is one of the things that really opened us up as far as like chop. Cause me and Clay are both kind of introverted, quiet. We had Faisal Aiden, remember Faisal Aiden, the African homie? He was quiet, like he didn't speak to no one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry to like put everybody in this weed circle, but I mean, it's weed now, so
right,
whatever,
exactly,
you feel me?
Right.
But we're all just sitting there chopping up, like we had a good ass time. Castro was there, the capers, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. So then we go back to the room, and I think me and Castro might have been roommates, and we did the whole like smoke in the bathroom thing and like try to turn on the water, heat, stupid shit, right?
And you guys are all in the same house?
Yeah, we're like in these kind of almost like hotelish type things. We're
cabins
in cabins
or something,
almost, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a couple folks are in our room afterwards that wasn't even smoking with us, like Brock Modem, Capers wasn't smoking, somebody else wasn't smoking. We were just in there kicking it, right? But it still had that stint to it. Coach's assistant comes by and drops off food. You feel me? But we don't notice at the time. Like he comes in, hey, who's all in the room? He's dropping off food. We're like, yeah, we don't think it smells like weed, nothing. We just like, oh yeah, it's good. You know, yeah, this guy, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
Who
we
was
get the
it?
food. Tim Marion. It's my dog, though.
Man, I liked him.
It was a homie.
Yeah,
Tim Marion's the coolest.
Bald,
I fuck
white,
with Tim.
white dude, yeah.
Yep. So we don't know none of this until we get back to school. And we're doing weights or whatever. We're doing weights. Then we get done with weights. We see coaches and shit coming in, like, and that's kind of, you know, they sometimes come in and sometimes don't. So we like, all right, whatever. 1, 2, 3, break order. He like, Capers, Reggie, Clay, such and such, such and such, such and such. Y'all come here right quick. We like, damn, all right, what's up? We don't really know because this is still back when we were dumb kids and weed is still like, we don't know we smell like weed.
Right.
So, and this was a kind of a part where Coach Bone kind of lost us a little bit because he says to us, right, he goes, now, when Tim dropped off some food to you guys' room, he smelled weed. Now, I know if I asked you guys who it was, you wouldn't tell me. So I told the athletic director to test y'all. Like, fail, bro. I would have told you. You feel what I'm saying?
That's him, though, coming from Seattle Pacific, where he doesn't have to deal with it. He doesn't know how to deal with it.
For sure.
So he's like, I'm going to put it in the hands of the AD.
You feel what I'm saying? Instead of
man.
like, and this is no knock on coach because everybody's like different. I can understand exactly, like you said, I know where he comes from. I know where he comes from,
right,
so it's no knock on him. But
and the thing about it is, at the end of the day, you were wrong, and he was doing what he felt was right for
sure.
the team. So
you feel me?
Yep.
So he wouldn't handle it like maybe a Coach Self or a Krzyzewski.
Right.
Because I'm thinking like, all right, yeah, bro, we smoked. We're gonna have to run hella early, 5 a.m. Whole team's gonna be mad at us, something like that.
Right.
But it was like. But once you tell the AD, now we're in the system.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you got all the best, Lee, Clay, Castro, like all of us in the system. That's how I felt my second one. You know what I'm saying?
And that was in the same year as the one.
That was in the same year.
Okay, so that was what year? Was that your freshman year?
My sophomore year.
Oh, your sophomore year. None your freshman year.
None my freshman year.
Okay, so 2 your sophomore year. So then fast forward then, when the third strike came, none your junior year.
None my junior. So this is my misunderstanding. Okay, so after my second one, I did have to go to like these They would
Stupid
call them like classes or whatever,
Yeah.
but the dude in there, like, bro, if you kick it with me, like everybody does, you can tell I'm not some kind of like dope head, right? So the dude was like, bro, like you're chilling, just make sure you don't smoke no weed. I'm gonna have to test you, da da da. So it was cool. So my understanding was, and I could be wrong with this understanding, that if you pass 4 tests in a row, you're out of the system. So that's what I did. I passed 4, and so
then you start over back at
you're just clear. I don't have to get tested randomly because when you're in the system,
when you're in the system, you got to get tested.
Bro,
You got to plan it.
It's the most stressful thing in the world. You know, because they can always they can come to your house and come get you. They can get you after practice. They
Anytime.
can do this, all the shit. And to keep it 100 with you, like, even though I passed them 4 tests, I'm still smoking like around the. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to like some practices. I'm heartbeat like did everybody test me today? Like you know,
that's no way to live
because I'm on Wazoo. I'm one of the best players on the team at the time. You know what I'm saying? And then like me. I come from, like, lifestyle always been my thing.
Right.
Like, kicking it. I went to middle school in Lake Stevens, so I'm f***ing with the dirt bike, the jet skis, the beer pong, bro. That's
random stuff, right.
So Wazoo is, like, perfect
the
for
exact
me.
Same
Wrongly
fit.
perfect. You feel me? People frat dudes are coming out. Like I say, I was in the Greek system because of the connections we had, this, that, and the other. Reggie, bro, come smoke, go cool. Throw in the bag, and we like, oh, man, come on, let's go. Like, I'm in the frat cribs kicking it. Like, you know, Reggie's in there, like, we want to smoke a Reg. Like, that was what it was. You feel me?
Right.
So, like...
So, fast forward that then, okay? So, 0, your junior year.
0, I'm good.
Damn.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm clean.
So then you said you're out of the system, but you're really not out of the system because then senior year comes, school starts, you're like, senior year, I'm about to have a great year.
For sure. We just got back from Australia.
Draft lists.
Feel me?
Like it's time to go.
Every 4 years, a college team, well, I don't know if they still get to do it, but they used to take those international trips.
Yeah, of course. Right.
We went to Australia because of Brock Modem. So, you know, we kicked it there. That's where I got Such Is Life from. I got that. We went to visit some like Australian prison. And there was this Australian outlaw who did some crazy wild shit, dope shit. And like those last words were like, such is life, basically. It's a much longer story than that. No disrespect to the Australian folks.
No, it's all good, yeah.
Just to round it out like that. And like, that's where like, bro, we was balling. I played against pros. Like,
and
bro, I was ooh, I'm about to do it.
And
I
the
can't
lifestyle.
lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ooh, okay, bet. I see
didn't have to go to school.
You know?
Right.
So then just going back, I got tested probably as soon as we got back beginning of the school year. But, you know, I don't know why. Hell no.
That's the one you failed.
That was the last one, my last third one. And I knew I was going to fail.
How early, though, when like school started? So school starts there in late August.
Yeah, it had to be right
then. And that's the best time of the year there. The first like month of school is football games. It's nice out.
Yeah, it's going into my senior year. I got my own crib and all that shit like that, too.
So they randomly brought you in.
With me at the time. Yeah, they came and got me, bro. I remember I was heartbroken when I was like, what? No. I'm in there, Chris, bro. I don't think I ever told anybody this.
You've told me this story,
bro.
Before.
I'm in there.
Hold on real fast. So you didn't know that you were going to be tested? Or like you thought you were done?
I thought I was done. Just off the understanding that I passed 4, I'm good off all these little shits. Doctors in there is telling me cool, I'm cool with the doctors. Like, and because they're telling me this, because they know, like, I never got in trouble ever on campus. I'm a good-ass student. I got music classes, acting classes,
everything,
all the type shit.
Yeah, that's
like,
crazy,
good.
man.
You feel me? So that's why I was understanding, like, and my house was like the Kick-It house. We call it Waffle House.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's actually a frat live out, a Pike live out.
Right.
You know, and back then, like, athletes and frat dudes wasn't really getting along, right? But my roommate, since he was in the frat, Nick Walliner, it was like a perfect mess. So they, you know, athletes come to the crib, I'm the pass. Like, oh, it's all good, da-da-da-da-da. You know, frat dudes come to the crib, oh, it's all good, Nick's the pass. Like, so we end up mingling. That's where SkyBlue like really started formulating through all these old football players finally kicking it with some frat dudes. Okay, no, we on the
random backgrounds of people.
Okay, bet. Like, you know, and it's cool. It's a cool environment. You feel me?
So right to the drug test. You have told me this though before.
Okay,
this is one of the and look, and I've even told some of my close friends you know, trying to give them like the play-by-play that you've given me, but man, that story, man.
No, for sure. Just one of those days we're into practice, we're in the huddle, and you see those certain people walk in.
And you're like,
you know, you're like, damn, hold on, it can't be. I should be good. Ready to break, right? Into practice, you walk up, hey Reggie, da-da-da-da. I'm like, oh my God, knowing this is my 3rd time. So I'm in there. I remember I'm in the room telling them, like, bro, it's going to be my 3rd time, bro. They're about to kick me off the team, bro. I'm about to be a senior, bro. Like, it's good. You know me. They're like, it's okay, Reggie. I'm sitting there. I'm drinking hella water. I'm, like, peeing down my shorts, like my
just trying to get everything out.
Bro, I don't know. You know, as a kid, you know what I'm saying? There used to be all these rumors. Drink
How
some
long
water.
were you in, like, the room before you actually said, okay, I'm going to do the test?
You know, I can't tell exactly.
And what would have
but
happened
it felt like an hour.
if you would have said, no, I'm not going to take the test?
I don't know. Now that I think about it, maybe I should have went that route. Like, you know, fought as hard as I could, but you're so, especially as a kid then, especially me being like on my own really as far as like, you know, I gotta, you know, my mom is married now, but like, you know, I didn't have my pops in my life. My grandpa was sick. My uncle was like in trouble or not around or something. You know, my uncle wasn't really there. So as a kid, I'm like trying to hide it all. You feel me? I'm like, I'll take care of it. I'm dealing with all, instead of like having an adult or something to be like, hey, I'm in this situation.
Right.
Okay, pops is gonna call and try to, you know, do
No,
the
you were
finesse or
fending for
whatever,
yourself.
you feel me? Whatever.
Right.
So yeah, I was in there for a minute before I decided to pee.
When did you get the results back?
Got the results back pretty fast. I think that used to take like 4 or 5 days back then.
So then you went to practice, and like that whole next 4 or 5 days, you're just like, man, like knowing in the back of your head, like this could go any way at any time.
I'm like, yeah, like Coach Bone called me, like, come to the office. I'm like, yeah. So he sit there, he like, so the test is negative, da 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 da. I'm like, yep. He's like, now it's just gotta go to Bill Moose. I think he's the athletic director at the time.
Yep.
I don't think he's there now anymore.
No, he's
right?
not. No.
Yeah. So he's like, now I got to go to him. It was like 2 weeks of me just like waiting on, like, they're going through this whole process.
Did you play in any games though between
Hell
them?
no, this is before. Like,
Okay,
when
so
I
you were going through
realized,
practice and just everything.
you know, I didn't do none of that. Once they
Hold
said
on.
that my shit is like up to the other people,
You were
out
off
of
the team.
Well, I'm out of, I can't come back to practice yet until.
Were you
Bill
like
Moose-
at the gym with the team at all?
Hell no, I
you
would
were
go
just
to the
what?
rec and hoop.
Damn, that's but that just feels weird though at that time though, knowing that you should be with your team, but you're not with the team because you're waiting for something.
Yeah, bro, I felt bad about it. And then, like, I remember they took team photos or something, and Shiny hit me, because Shiny was living with me at the time. And he's like, bro, they just take team photos, bro. He's like, bro, I don't think you're about to make it. I'm like, bro, don't say that, no, don't say it.
So then Bill Moose calls you into his office then, right?
Yeah, calls me into his office, sits me there, asked me some questions.
Was it just you and
It was
him?
just me and him. He asked me a couple questions. So when did you smoke on purpose or something? Or did you? I'm like, yeah, like I'm getting back from kicking in Australia or something. You know, I'm just kicking it, bro. Like I'm not a nuisance to nothing. Like
Right.
You know, I kick it. I play fucking guitar all day, and you know,
Right.
So then it was like after that, I think maybe like I don't know, it was a minute, probably a week after that. Coach Bone called me back in. I said, well, I got some bad news for you, bro. I just broke down and started crying.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was just hurt, bro. I couldn't believe that shit, dog. And I had to walk out of there. He's like, you got any questions, anything? I just got up and I was like,
There's no
bro,
questions. You told me I'm off the team. Like, I'm done.
I called my mom on the way home. The other media person called me, well, hey, just letting you know we're about to release the story. Bro, that shit hurt, bro. I was crying like a motherfucker, Chris. Hard, bro. That shit hurt, dog. I just didn't know what to think, like what to do at the time. You know what I'm saying, bro? And I had like real big like expectations for that year.
Absolutely.
You know? But it was whatever, I guess.